Professionally speaking, it's been one of the highlights of my career, was being able to work on this program with Marion and other people in this room. I can't tell you enough how much I have enjoyed it, only because what we have heard back from people who have participated.
Oh my gosh, I have such fond memories of Paul and working with him and going through the program and stuff too. He really took the program and developed it and really brought together stakeholders and resources and things to really help it grow and to move it forward. I don't think CLA would be celebrating its 20th anniversary without him, without that initiative, without that push, without that drive to see it be sustained year after year after year. And he's been a driving force in CLA, has and always will be, I think.
There were probably, and I'm guessing, I know of 2 or 3 moments in time with CLA where there was question or doubt of how it would keep going. And Paul wasn't just like one of the founding members and part of the inspiration behind it and the backbone, but he's been a person who's scratched and clawed to keep it going, to make sure he fought for it. And it's pretty awesome to know that a person of his quality and his character would fight for you, for a program like CLA.
Paul has created a legacy in 20 years of, 20 to 30 graduates every time, maybe more. There's few careers that have as much impact as community leadership programs. So Paul's impact is felt with every graduate and every life they touch, is directly attributed to Paul's character and the love and commitment that he put into doing an awesome job for people.
Paul has been, I think, the more than just the one of the founding individuals in this organization. He has been a person that we have constantly looked to for new ideas and for whatever it takes to get things done to make sure that this program succeeds from year to year. It's sometimes real easy in an organization to lose touch with what it's about, what you're trying to accomplish, especially if there's large turnover. And to have someone like Paul, who've contributed all those years and all that effort, has certainly made a difference.
To me, Paul is CLA. I mean, when I came in 2010, he was the main facilitator, did a lot of the presentations, he was the board chair. I mean, he kind of led everything. Had been there since the beginning and was one of CLA's biggest champions. So when he said he was going to walk away, part of me was like, oh man, how do we do it without Paul? And we did, but it took a couple people to step in and replace him. It wasn't just one person that could do that. So he, to me, really, he is CLA.
Paul was kind of the conscience of it. He was the guy who made sure that we didn't lose sight of the fact that it's great that we have leadership, but we really need ethical leaders. We really need people not just that are going to get something done, but they're going to bring people along with them at the same time and empower people.
What I really admired and respected about Paul was that he was an ongoing learner of leadership. He went to conferences and workshops and programs and continued to learn about the field of leadership. He learned about experts in the field. He learned about resources. And he would come back and he would share those with us and come up with ideas for improving the effectiveness of CLA.
Paul he's a great leader. He's one that made, from me watching him throughout the years, when I was the coordinator from 04 to 09 and stuff, so I got to see him often, in that facilitating role. He always included people. He was always able to connect with people. He engaged people. He just did a really good job of making the atmosphere very warm, very inviting, so people wanted to come back. I think that was part of the reason that the program succeeded so well, is just because of his presence and him drawing people in.
Probably the best part is, no matter when I saw him on the streets or near his office, he always made a point of coming over and talking and seeing how we're doing. He cared about people, and that's probably the number one thing about Paul, is he never let the people down. He kept it going.
If you watch Paul do the work of an extension agent and you understand the historical roots of extension, it was in relationships. Their job was to go out and bring the good news of the best practices out of the university and out of the whole community to each other, to people on their farms, in the schools, and Paul, to me, has tried to live that every day that he's been an extension agent and pass that on to other people, and that's a hell of a legacy.
20 years is an amazing amount of time, and you have to have somebody who's going to take it on as an owner. And I think that's one of the things that Paul did from day one. He shared the ownership with others, but he never lost track of that drive. And we're very thankful of that. He's a friend, and I don't know. I just think that where would CLA be without Paul? I don't know what it would have been. I don't even want to think about that. But I know it's going places because of him.
I can't recall Paul ever not making time for anyone, myself included. It's character, it's caring, it's giving. Yeah, it's consistency of those traits. I think that's it. I think he's left a legacy that I think we all look to.